Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about Tensou Sentai Goseiger, but I'm only going to be talking about it for a little bit, because there's not much to really talk about. It's a very shallow little Sentai show, because in a show that goes for about 48 through to 50 episodes per year, you sort of want there to be some sort of plot, some sort of natural arc that one can point at and go, this happens here, this happens there, that happens there, and all the characters change and grow and become someone who they did not start with. You don't have any of that in Goseiger. It's sort of a straight line of filler for 48 to 50 episodes, or more to the point, it's filler up until episode 42, I think. Sounds about right, where suddenly there's this big reveal and you finally figure out who the big bad is. And this is a show about, Sentai's about good versus evil, so you sort of want to establish who the bad guy is pretty quickly. It takes about 42 episodes before anyone's got any idea who the big bad is, and then they fight, and 8 episodes later it's over. And those 8 episodes are pretty good. I'm going to be honest, they're pretty great. But up until then, you have to deal with how boring, how very, very boring it is. How terribly boring. And so Sentai Goseiger is about 5 angels. You've got your red angel and you've got your pink angel, the angels of the sky who use sky magic and wind and typhoons and hurricanes and stuff like that. And then you've got your blue angel, which is, as you might figure, the angel of the sea, because he's blue, as the ocean is also blue. And you've got your yellow and your black, which are the Gosei angels of the ground. So they're mostly defensive. They use their Lundic power, strike, dynamic, and all that sort of fantastic stuff. I'm mostly rambling because not giving you much context as to what I'm talking about. But anyway, we get the 6th Ranger, who's Gosei Knight, who uses Nightic power, which is basically an amalgamation of the sky, the ocean, and the ground, land, everything below, sort of shooting Sado. But he's a pretty cool guy. As far as 6 Rangers go, he's a bit dull. That's sort of a side effect of the show, being a bit dull. But he's pretty cool anyway. He's got a fantastic design, and he's the only one that made a figure arts toy out of, so he's bound to have some sort of popularity as a result of his design. But I didn't really plan on talking about Goseiger today, because if you watched my last episode where I introduced you to the concept of the 6th Ranger, I did mention that I may or may not be speaking about Power Rangers this week, and so I did plan on talking about Die Ranger. But I changed my mind, because on Saturday, the 20th anniversary, the premiere of the 20th anniversary season of Power Rangers happened. It aired, and I sat down and watched it, and I'm talking about Goseiger, because Goseiger is the Sentai from which Megaforce, the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers, is adapted from. And in this 20th anniversary of Power Rangers, you basically have boring Red Ranger, who's pretty. You've got gorgeous Yellow Ranger, gorgeous Pink Ranger, Pink Ranger rode the bike. That's new. They haven't really done anything like that before, so that's pretty cool, I guess. It's, at least to my knowledge. Could be wrong. I may have had a BMX bandit. I don't know. We've also got who I'm going to call Nerdy Kevin. The joke should be... No, I'm not going to explain the joke. You either get it and it's hilarious, or you don't get it at all. And, onus is on you. I'm just the comedian. Woo! You've also got... the Black Ranger, who's not Zach, Jake. See, I give you his name, I don't give you anyone else's. Troy was red. Mia? Either that or she's the Pink Ranger from Samurai. I don't know. But it's interesting that they chose to do Goseiger, because it's about angels, and there's all sorts of fantastic religious connotations involved, even though they were cleverly subverted by the Goseiger product, in that they were never really spoken about or mentioned. I mean, there was clearly a Tower of Babel, and there was clearly God, but you name them properly and you subvert the issue very, very succinctly. You had the Tower of Gosei Tower? I don't remember, so I might have to correct myself in the notes on screen. And you also had Master Header, who was clearly God, but they called him Master Header because what they called the Zords, or is that not called Zords in Japan, they've always got a different name for their robots, or mecha, as they were headers. just sort of heads that get really big and attach to mechanical bodies. It was really weird. And on that note, Gosei Knight is actually a header, not a person. But that's okay, because none of the other ranges are people either. They're just bland two-dimensional cutouts of human being shaped people, or angels, I guess it would be called. And I'm rambling and I'm not really giving you any direction, but I wanted to talk about Power Rangers today, so I chose to talk about Gosei because I'm not very enthusiastic about it, as you can tell, and I wanted to get it out of the way. Megaforce aired in America on Saturday last week, and at some point today or tomorrow, depending on the time differences, and depending on whether or not you're actually watching this at the time of publication, the second episode will happen, and I'll be watching that and I'll be seeing if that's any good. I'm not going to give you a review because this is not a show about reviews, it's a show about information, of which I've given you precious little. That's just the thing, isn't it? I've given you precious little information because there's precious little to talk about in Gosei. There's even less to talk about in Megaforce, other than the fact that it's happening. Happy birthday. Happy 20 years, Power Rangers. You've been a doll. You're a gem. We all love you. The sky. They use sky power, so they use wind, and there's a car. He's looking at me weirdly. That's what you might expect when you sit on the roof of a car talking to a camera. That's what you might expect.